Noelle Mykolenko is the Chief Operating Officer for Trusted Advisor Associates. She knows somebody I know, Charlie Green, who put me in touch with her. And if his reputation precedes any type of interaction I have with her, this is going to be an amazing friendship that we have going forward. Noelle, help me get to know you a little bit better. Trusted Advisor Associates is one of those organizations, one of those uh, capabilities that I've brushed up against several times, and people have had nothing but good stuff to say about the role that they play. So, if you don't mind, give me the minute, 90-second on trusted advisors.
Sure. Thanks, Dave. And thanks for your kind words, too. Trusted Advisor Associates really exists with only one main purpose, and that is to help people build deeper trust relationships. We're focused primarily in the professional services space, and we work with organizations and individuals who see that there's benefit they can gain from having more trust in their professional relationships.
Mm-hmm.
We do it through a number of ways. We interact with people primarily through workshops. Up until March of this year, those were almost entirely in person workshops. We've spent the last few months shifting ourselves to create the same valuable experience that we would give in person to a virtual environment.
Sure.
And we've actually found a lot of good experiences. Um, in a sense, the medium becomes the message
Yeah.
of interacting around trust in a virtual environment because that's what all of our clients are doing now.
Mm-hmm.
They're engaging with their clients and their colleagues virtually. So the disruption, if you will, has given us it's given us a stepping stone to really up our game as well in the conversations around trust.
How is the role of, and just generically, how is the role of being a trusted advisor rapidly evolved, or lightning like change? How's it changed over the past 8 to 10 weeks?
Um, it's interesting because while we're interacting with each other in a very different way than we normally would have before all of this hit, human nature hasn't changed in the last 3 to 4 months. Human nature is still the same. We want to work with people that we trust. And so the definition we use for a true trusted advisor is a safe haven for tough issues. And that's not a safe haven for tough issues for which I have a product or service.
Hmm.
It's simply a safe haven for tough issues. And what that really means at its heart is being available to your client, your colleague, whoever it is that you're working with, for whatever is occurring to them at that time, and being willing to be helpful.
Hmm.
That's about as basic as it gets.
Hmm.
When we think about a classic trusted advisor definition, it encompasses, you can think of it on two axes.
Hmm.
One axis is the depth of the personal relationship, because it takes a deep personal relationship to have that openness
Hmm.
to be whatever that person needs you to be in the moment. The other axis is really a breadth of business issues because a deep personal relationship without the breadth of business issues is really a good, solid friendship.
Hmm.
But a trusted advisor is more than just a friend, it's
Hmm.
somebody who gives good advice
Hmm.
and gets that advice taken.
Um, I don't know exactly when it was. It was when I was very young in my professional life, way back when I was a computer programmer. Um, but at a certain point, I made this one of those big aha moment discoveries. I think every young professional does, which is you get to a point where you make this the sun rises in your head, to the awareness of I may not have that knowledge or skill, but I know somebody who does, and I can. Okay, that person's a phone call away, or a brief walk down, the cubicle wall, or to the office three away. And it was a stupid learning, but it was one of those things where, you know, I got help. There's someone I could call to help me with that thing. Why do you think people are so slow to make that realization?
It's an interesting phenomenon, and I think we talk about trustworthiness and building trust in terms of four factors of trustworthiness. There's credibility and reliability, which are largely rational. They're pretty easy to measure. Credibility has to do with what you say and how you say it, right? Can you be believed? It also has to do with honesty. Reliability is, as it sounds, do you follow through on the commitments that you make? And those two traits, if you think about professionals and professional services, really anybody in the business world, we tend to over rely on our own credibility and reliability. And we project that onto other people and think that other people expect us
Hmm.
to be highly credible and highly reliable, which in fact is true. We're usually hired because we're smart, we have some knowledge. When it comes to relationship development, and most of the successful senior leaders of companies have recognized this, whether it's consciously or unconsciously. The real trust boosters come through intimacy or a feeling of connectedness or psychological safety
Hmm.
and a low self orientation. In other words, am I in it for myself
Hmm.
or am I in it for the other person?
Sure.
And so that realization of I can reach out and get help and it won't damage my credibility is the self orientation and intimacy kicking in to recognize. I think it recognizes a fuller definition of what it means to be a trustworthy person or a valuable person,
Sure.
quite frankly,
Oh,
business context.
yeah, that's a game changer. And just to wrap up, Noelle, you get the question everybody gets, which is, in this moment of high flux, what lessons have we learned that going forward that we must not forget?
That's such a great question and so important. And if I had to boil it down, I would say the key lesson to learn here is the importance of empathy. And I'll use the word grace. Give yourself grace to recognize that we're all in this and experiencing it in our own way. You're not the only person who's being impacted by everything that's happening. Everybody else is experiencing it in their own way. And then give others grace. Have the empathy to recognize that they're dealing with challenges as well. They're facing a lot of uphill battles on their end. And so, really try to put yourself in their shoes and just be there for them, both your colleagues and your clients. I guarantee you they will appreciate that.
That's fantastic. And not so ironically, a really good pal of mine, a mentor of mine actually, John Baldoni, his latest book is entitled Grace. So it's interesting that you should mention that magic word. Noelle, it was so great to meet you via Zoom. I look forward to further conversations. Before the cameras were turned on, we talked about some stuff. And I hope you have a great rest of the day. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Dave.